What's the second best?
Never gets old, never gets to be a second best, crypto guys. We have breaking news coming out of not just the White House, but multiple sources on real reports of Jerome Powell actually discussing his resignation. So what was once something that people thought was simply clickbait 24 hours ago has came completely true. And I'm going to be diving into this today, guys. Markets are going absolutely berserk here today. Bitcoin, $117,600, of course, hitting $18,000 very, very briefly. Ethereum back below 3K, but monumental pumps on XRP, as well as Dogecoin and Cardano in the top 10, with Hyperliquid about to break in. I mean, still $10 billion away in market cap, but man, oh man, Hype is on its way to a top 10 cryptocurrency, followed by SWI and Stellar Lumens here. 24-hour time frame, though. Gosh, guys, there's always new projects that never cease to amaze you. We called the Pengu bottom, which was insane, up over 100% since we called that about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. IP, though, still leading the market. Story's been one of the biggest movers, but Meme Core, chat, is anybody familiar with Meme Core, with M? Do I need to do some massive research into Meme Core? Because Meme Core is up 1,000%, a $1 billion market cap. Never heard of this thing. It came out of left field. You know what? Actually, I'm going to honestly pull it up because we need to look into that in today's episode towards the end of the stream and figure out what the hell this Meme Core is. What type of core is this? Man, because people are addicted to it. Stellar Lumens, though. Holy smoke. Stellar in the chat. Let me know if you hold Stellar. Up 20%, 52% in the last 7 days. Say 4, which is Form. I don't even know what Form is. Always new products, but Celestia, Athena, XRP, Cardano. Big movers here in the top 100 right now today. Massive, a little bit of an alt season, guys. Some people would be like, is it alt season? Well, you know, of course, we still got a lot more to break down on the dominance before we get too excited, but we will be covering the Bitcoin dominance here today and what I believe is about to happen, what the next resistance levels are, and what we think is going to happen on Bitcoin's price, guys. But the title of today's stream, XRP is the heavy winner. You guys can make fun of me all you want. Go for it. Shame me. I said it was shit. You should sell at 70 cents. I bought at 7 cents, and I only did a 10x. And unfortunately, I missed out on what would have been a 40x if I had just held on to my XRP there. But $7.74. Check out the daily time frame here on XRP. And man, it just goes to show that sometimes, guys, pattern trading really does work. You got that breakout. You got that proper breakout. Massive volume, massive upside here with XRP, now pushing towards $3. So there's a lot of analysts coming out, of course, on, you know, the XRP's price predictions. I want to talk about, is a $10 price action for XRP in sight for Ripple? Is this possible? Are the red portfolio holders and the $100 XRP callers out there, the maximalists, I like to say, correct about this? Well, here's the total rundown today. XRP breaks out of a multi-year triangle, mirroring 2017 pattern with strong price momentum. Whales are transferring and surging volume, adding speculation to XRP's price action. And analyst Javon Mark sees a potential 251% rally target of $9.63. So first and foremost, yes or no in chat, do you believe XRP can reach $9.63 here this year for Ripple's price action? I mean, again, XRP's price action here by the end of 26. I want to know if you guys truly believe this. XRP shows strong momentum above 2017 high. Why is this breaking here? Ripple was trading at $2.58. Massive upside action of 7% in the last 24 hours. And he's confirming a breakout from a large multi-year symmetrical triangle that formed between 2018 and 2024. This pattern resembles XRP's 2017 structure, where a sharp impulse move was followed by a period of consolidation, then another leg higher. Chat is coming out and saying, here's what this is chat's polling, guys. This is not me. This is chat's polling here. Saying, Josh, you are young, black, and rich. Thank you, man. Don't out my ethnicity like that. Zero is the other direction, guys. $10 plus easy coming from Curtis Reese. We have Jason Casper's chicken saying no, does not believe it's going to hit there. We have greatness not in 2025. Yes for Curtis. Matthew for no. Alexander, yep. Actually, he said, yep. Yippee. You know how it is here. And you have Alan Jackson, $25 with FOMO. Mark, oh my gosh, Mark came out and said $200. Mark Smithson, $200 XRP by the end of 2025. That is what chat is saying out here. But here's what I believe is the truth. Interestingly, the pattern shows XRP closely tracking the historical trend. After breaking out of the macro triangle, the price surged massively out of this here. Whale transactions added speculation, and now he's giving a nice upside target here. Let's go ahead and pull up the X post where history tends to repeat itself. He is targeting, looks like the next Fibonacci, which would put you at $9.63 there as the 1.61 Fibonacci extension there for you guys if we do break out of this marker. So again, will this happen? I don't necessarily know. I think if you're pushing $4 on XRP, man, we should be taking profits because, guys, again, I think the this year's bull runs motto, it should be take profits, not screenshots. Now, it doesn't mean sell your entire bag today. It means set key levels, and as you hit levels, take profit. Don't screenshot your $6,000 P&L and then let it go to zero or even potentially stopping you out eventually. Take profits out there, guys. Take profits. Well, here is the breaking news today, okay? Here is the breaking news. I will find it. U.S. Federal Housing Agency is claiming, yes, the U.S., the United States Federal Housing is coming out and saying and claiming that they are encouraged by reports that Jerome Powell is considering resigning. I think this will be the right direction for America and the economy will boom. So this is no longer just complete speculation. It makes you wonder where this information may have been leaked or not. But you do have much speculation going into Jerome Powell potentially, actually, oops, didn't mean to delete that right here. Step down and resign. Now, is it going to happen? Again, I told you guys last night, I don't expect it to happen, but at this point, I want to be shocked. Going for the Kopisai letter here. Over the past 2 weeks, here's all of the major news. President Trump and Elon Musk feud has escalated. Congress passed Trump's big, beautiful bill, which is a $5 trillion spending bill. Elon Musk announces establishment of the American Party. Trump calls for the record-breaking 300 basis point rate cut, which is what I believe is coinciding with massive upside in these markets. Guys, markets love two things: printing money and reducing interest rates. So, while Bitcoin's hitting all-time highs, you got to realize, it's at the expense of the devaluation of the U.S. dollar, right? As the U.S. dollar. We have crypto price. He said it's true, Josh. I got Trump to call me and confirm that he is the new Fed chair. Congratulations to crypto price in the chat. I'm very excited to see how you take the Federal Reserve on this next pathway here. But as the government spends, guys, it's very simple, okay? As the government spend, risk on assets and store of values go up. As the government spend, the value of the dollar drops. So this will be USD, which means your $1, right, will become worth less and less as these prices rises. So does it mean the economy is doing good? In a way, it could, but it could also mean that the dollar is being massively devaluated pretty quickly and they're printing too much money. So there is that. U.S. FHFA director claims Fed Chair Powell is considering resigning, and U.S. stock markets rallies to a brand new all-time high here. You forgot crypto. The Kopisai letter said crypto is just watching and laughing. That is a fact, man. We are at all-time highs. And this reminds me of all the bears, guys.
Value to this.
Silence. We need a moment of silence. Get prayer hand emojis. Prayer hand emojis in the chat right now for all the bears. We need to, I'm not even religious, but we need to pray for these bears because, dude, it's just embarrassing. Here is Peter Zeihan on the world's largest podcast in 2023 when Bitcoin was at $15,000. $15,000. Take a listen.
Asset. And now it's starting to be, there's no intrinsic value to this asset. And now it's starting to be priced appropriately. So it has a, what's Bitcoin at? 16,000? It has another 17,000 to go down.
Duh, really?
Yeah, there's no intrinsic value to this product.
And do you think that people have just inherently lost faith in the idea behind crypto because of FTX?
Well,
because
it became an ideology. And whenever you invest based on an ideology, you're going to make some decisions that are a little divorced from math.
And what do you mean by ideology?
Well, the people who really like crypto are convinced that it's the currency of the future and that a decentralized ledger is the way to go, and that anything that is controlled by a government entity is by definition a negative, and if it's done by the private sector freely, it will be better. And that's just not how currency works. Currency is a method of exchange and a store of value. And for that, there has to be a degree of trust, and you have to have it managed in terms of volume. I mean, one of the craziest things about Bitcoin is that there will never be more than X number of units of Bitcoin. Well, by default, that means it can't be used for trade, because the whole idea of economic activity is that there's expansion, which means you need more currency to lubricate and manage that expansion. If currency is locked in at a specific number, you get monetary inflation, and that is one of the fastest ways to destroy an economic model.
So because of the lack of Bitcoin, because there's a certain controlled number, the only thing that can happen is Bitcoin becomes more expensive.
Right. And that means that the people who hold it are the ones that make the money, but everyone else suffers. I'm sorry, that's not viable. The alternative is you have some private dude out there who generates the coins on a whim. How is that different from the monetary reserve or the monetary authorities that we have at the Federal Reserve, except for the point that there's no accountability? No, no.
No. And he could have been farther from the truth there. Also, it just, it hurts because Peter Zion's actually he's incredibly intelligent. He's got some really good reads if you want to learn about demographics, kind of the changing world order. He's got some really good geopolitical beliefs, or not beliefs, but educational pieces. He was right about a lot of things in terms of the Ukraine war, things that are in the Middle East. So I don't want to discredit his intelligence, but I do want to discredit his education on crypto, specifically Bitcoin, because even though there's 21 million Bitcoin only that will ever be in circulation, it's still infinitely divisible by Satoshi. So, Bitcoin could still be, Bitcoin could be $100 million, and you could still have 0.000000000000001 Satoshis. And at that point, the dollar would be so inflated at that point, it'd be disgusting. But, so it's hard. It's so unfortunate to realize. And, it looks like we had one person, Mark Smithson was the only person that put prayer hand emojis in the chat, because I don't think anybody cares about bears. They don't feel sympathy for the bears. They don't feel sad for these individuals, because bears are inherently, I don't know if they're dropped on the head as a kid. I don't know if they just want it to be, they want to be right so badly. They refuse to shed the ego and be humble and humiliated. Like, you're going to make mistakes, dude. Like, I've made mistakes on this channel. I've made mistakes like with XRP, right? Selling at 70 cents. You're going to make mistakes in investing. And I think it's more harmful that these people don't ever change, right? It's like, everybody's human. You don't have all the information. You don't have all the data. There's things that quantum is going to change things. Biocheck's going to change things. How people might live to 180 years old and, in 40 years, which changes the entire structure of Social Security. Like, there's so many things that are constantly going to change. You have to be willing to adapt. And when these people like Peter Zion in 2020, and maybe he's changed by now, but the Jim Cramers that was calling for Black Monday on the day of the bottom of the market, the Trump session, all the people that were saying Trump's going to cause a great recession, Trump's going to send us to zero, Trump's going to crash crypto, all this stuff, it's very, very painful to see that. So anyways, shout out to everybody that held through all the bullshit, that held through all of the bearishness, through the gutter when Bitcoin was at $15,000, because now we're at $118,000. And yes, altcoins aren't exactly at those key levels yet, but it's coming, guys. Like, it's coming, and it's right around the corner. We're at the precipice of this. Like we said, maybe it won't be a straight shot to the moon, but you saw yesterday for the first time, huge movements that we haven't seen in months and months and months. So the volumes here, the adoptions here, get excited for it. Now, there is a few warning points, okay? So I'm going to drop some warnings here on a few of these altcoins. If you hold these altcoins, this is something you need to be paying attention to, because one of the most bullish things about crypto, in terms of crypto platforms that produce a lot of revenue and value, are the ones that are tied to stable coins and can print endless amount of capital to fuel their initiatives. So Tether announced today, I don't know how this is going to impact Bitcoin Cash, Algorand, and the altcoins I'm going to cover here, but the stablecoin issuer Tether is ending support, okay? They're no longer supporting Tether and stablecoins on these 5 different legacy blockchains after previously halting minting on those networks. So you can't mint, and they don't support them anymore. So this is going to include on September 1st. On September 1st, the company announced on Friday it's ending redemptions and freezing the remaining assets on those blockchains. So I imagine you're going to see a lot of selling of liquidity in these different networks. Now, will that affect the price action? I don't know. We'd have to do a cross-reference to that. But last June, the firm ended its minting function on Algorand and EOS, now called Volta, meaning it would no longer issue new stablecoins on those chains in 2023. It announced the same thing for Bitcoin Cash, Kusama, which is the test net to Polkadot, and Omni Layer Protocol. Now that Tether has put a hard end date on its stablecoin support on the group of 5 legacy blockchains as part of its efforts to optimize infrastructure, wait, what does it say? Has put a hard end date on its stablecoin support on the group of 5 legacy blockchains as part of its efforts to optimize infrastructure, align with community usage trends, and refocus resources towards high utility, actively developed blockchains. So Tether just shat on these companies. Tether is saying that Algorand, EOS, which is Volta, Bitcoin Cash, Kusama, and OmniLayer are roughly dead chains. They are low utility and not actively developed with optimized infrastructure. So take what you want from this information. But when I see the world's second largest Federal Reserve, that is what Tether is. They're the largest money printer on the planet. They are straight up saying that these legacy blockchains are dead. That is what I gather from this, because they're lit, and this is their quote. Algorand and these 5 layers do not have the optimal infrastructure. They are not aligned with community usage trends. They are not focused on, they're obviously not high utility, or else Tether wouldn't have said this, and they're not being actively developed on. So very interesting article here from Tether. They also said, as the digital asset ecosystem evolves, Tether remains committed to adapting alongside it. Sunsetting support for these legacy chains allows us to focus on platforms that offer greater scalability, developer activity, and community engagement, all key components for driving the next wave of stablecoin adoption. So you can let me know, guys, if this is good. Say good or bad if you believe this is good or bad for these different legacy systems. I automatically, this isn't good. This isn't good. If you want to pin this in a good way, like, there you go. But, all I can imagine is maybe Algorand's going to partner with the USDC or something, right? Like another different stablecoin provider. But this is you have Crypto Pricey saying it here. This is a eulogy. This is straight up a eulogy for these 5 blockchains, which is insane. Absolutely insane. Who's trashing on Algorand? Tether. Tether, chat. The liquidity provider of crypto said Algorand is not utility driven, doesn't have good utility. It's not being developed on. It doesn't have optimal infrastructure and doesn't support any community trend. Like, that's insane to me. That's insane to me. That's wild to me. Classic retest to confirm support. Everyone breathe. Y'all have PTS from the market. What happened there? What do you think the next buy-in price for Cardano is? Coming from Frederick Harvey Jr. What do you think? Thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Appreciate you. Much love. What do you think the next buy-in price is for Cardano, though? I'll tell you what, one thing, guys. I'm not buying into these levels. We just pumped massively. So I'll give you some key targets, but unfortunately, people don't want to buy when these key targets here. So Cardano, I mean, very obviously, 51 cent Cardano is a huge support level. So anything around 54 to 60 cents, this is massively good accumulation, massive accumulation. I would say I would wait for a pullback here. I mean, it's pulling back a little bit, but I want to see the stochastic and the RSI on the daily overextended to the downside, right? Overextended to the downside, overextended to the downside, overextended downside. MACD's trying to reverse. I want to catch that when the indicators are oversold, not overbought right now. So that's all I'm not a financial advisor, but that's my opinion. Is I'm not going to FOMO into this now because I didn't buy here, right? We were screaming from the rooftops here and this range to buy when Bitcoin was under 80K. And we have every single live stream to prove it. Like we were buying the lows on all these platforms. So I would say the next key entry point, it's a good question, Frederick. I'm not shitting on anything. I would wait for the next optimal, because he's, again, the next buy-in price for Cardano, to me, would be looking for a proper breakout and then a retest. So I would want to see this actually probably break this current trend, which it is, right? So whether that supports at 84 cents or not, I would want to see a breakout and then a retest, or the indicators here to come back down and, you know, that oscillator to be oversold. I want to buy things when they're oversold, not overbought. That's all I'm saying there. Buy when they're oversold, not overbought. Buy the bottom, sell the top. Strike on Cardano is locking up TVL. Hell yeah, dude. I think Cardano's got a really good chance. Glad I got out of Algo. Let's actually check on Algorand with this news. So, yeah, it looks like the news isn't affecting it too much. It looks like it's just moving like any other altcoin right now. What's the all-time high? Oh. Yikes. I thought Yeah, maybe it's got a shot, chat. Maybe it's got a shot. Yeah, I would just say, if you're on Algorand, chat, if you're on Algo, right, just take profits along the way up. That's what I would say. That's all I'm going to say here. Nice little breakout here on the, it's breaking out of the, you know, Algorand to BTC. Nice little double bottom there. You can definitely get some nice price ranges. But, yeah, that was an intense chart, chat. That was an intense chart, man. Very intense, very intense, very intense. Get out of here. Let's go to, let's see what else we got here. Ethereum 29. We're pulling back a little bit. Yeah. Guys, it's going to be a normal retrace. We just pumped like fucking crazy, chat. We pumped like crazy. I'm so pissed, though, that we got stopped out of this perfect stop loss yesterday at 3,000. Actually, no, that would have been here. We would have traded that scalp. So I didn't trade this. It was overnight. But this was a very obvious resistance level. Could have caught that if I wasn't making content. Sometimes I should just be here every day, man. Algo's unloaded heaps of tokens. Oh, damn, man. I mean, that's actually sometimes a good thing. Like, heaps, like, are they out of tokens? Because usually when they're out of tokens, maybe that will help. PDI is truly centralized here. Interesting here. Well, let's move to the next article here. What is Bitcoin trash? I didn't mean to click on that earlier. That's not an article we're covering. Bitcoin Cash is just Bitcoin trash. Why is Bitcoin going up? So if you guys are somebody that's tuning in right now, which, by the way, guys, hit that like button for us for these late night streams if you appreciate them. Hit that, you know, subscribe, turn on notifications, repost if you're on X, guys. It takes 2 seconds. It's completely free to do. We got, you know, thousands of people watching on X, a few hundred people on Discover. Hit the like button, share the stream, do whatever you need to do. But this is going to be an article for everybody that just is curious to why Bitcoin's moving so hard, right? Like, why did he miss out on the pump? What is happening? Well, it's simple. Weak dollar, ETF inflows are skyrocketing, and Trump support for crypto is propelling Bitcoin's price action to the upside here. We have the recent launch of a Bitcoin ETF and has unlocked inflows, significant inflows from both retail and institutional investors, pushing Bitcoin to a record territory. Jason Chicken comes out and said, exactly, we're going to retrace at least 36 hours. I actually very much agree with you here, sir. BB81Z on X, thank you for the repost. You're a real one, man. The real supporters out there, repost the stream. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Bitcoin's breakout is lifting some crypto stocks, especially those direct exposures like MicroStrategy, Galaxy Digital, and select mining firms such as Mara, Riot, and Coinbase, etc. Bitcoin is once again hitting new milestones, soaring above $118,000. W's. People are not excited enough for this market for the first time and shaking off months of sideways trading as traders scramble to cover their short positions. Boo-hoo to the bears. Behind the surge lies a confluence of forces: the weakening U.S. dollar, political support for the Trump administration, and favorable technical signals have created a bullish backdrop for the crypto sector. The launch of a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund opened the floodgates to retail and institutional money alike, helping to push Bitcoin into record territory. Monumental price action. Trump's administration, crypto-friendly, also is playing a massive role here, as not only are they deregulating, but just last month, the U.S. Senate passed the Genius Act, the first significant bill aimed at regulating stablecoins, and the legislation is expected to provide clear rules for dollar-pegged cryptocurrencies. You also had a massive reduction of IRS with, I believe, banks or something having to note their transactions on DeFi. You're going to see so much money pour into crypto, guys. You know, I'm very conservative, right? I always think that 120, 130K, we're going to range for the rest of the year. I've been saying that. I think 130 is pretty much the peak of 2025. Looks like I'm going to be very, very wrong at this rate, which is more than okay. Because that just means we're going to make more money, and is what it is. But ultimately, I can't predict how much money is about to pour into this industry. If we're going to print trillions of dollars, deregulate at the same time, not require the classification and restrictions that we once did on crypto transactional values, a lot of money can pour into this crypto, guys. A lot of money can pour into crypto. Chat is saying markets are dumping. Let's see. Let me see. Markets are dumping. Go to daily time frame. Markets are dumping. Yes. Markets are dumping. Chat, guys, we got to let go of the 1 minute time frame. Got to let go of the 1 minute time frame. Okay. I want to be surprised. By the way, I think we can go back to 104K. Guess what? We opened up at 104K. You see this massive futures gap? We have fat futures gaps below us. Fat futures gaps, right? So, right now we're going to be in this new range here. This is big. Got that. Boom. Boom. This is the daily candlestick, chat. This is a daily candlestick. Massive imbalance. Massive fair value gap created. Insane. That's insane. That's insane, dude. So just definitely be cautious out there, man. Love your live chat. I don't have a double speed on YouTube. I don't have to double speed a YouTube. Oh, nice. Let's go, man. Let's freaking go. Appreciate it, Rex. We got 1 second time frame is what I use. 1 second time frame or nothing, bro. That's how you got to trade in these markets. That's how you got to trade in these markets. But I do have to point this out, guys. Look at this, right? Like when you zoom out, I wouldn't be surprised if this filled all the way down to $114,000. Like this would be healthy. Like it'd be very, 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 especially since we pumped after hours on the market. I'm expecting those sessions lows to be wiped out. Like I want to be shocked if the US pushed the price back down to these order books and filled them, right? Then you look for another reversal. Josh is naturally cocaine without drugs. It's just who I am, dude. I was born with massive squirrel tail eyebrows, and my mouth is as big as those eyebrows, dude. I just spit. Golly, I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe it was because I grew up on a ranch or a homestead and had to yell all the time across acreage. Don't know. I don't got that soft spokenness. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Next up here, though, guys, we have Arthur Hayes coming down. Monster alt season is coming after. I think Arthur Hayes, though, just said he was claiming 90K Bitcoin. But I do agree with this. There is going to be an alt season. There is going to be an alt season. U.S. June budget turns surplus with tariff boost. The United States is bringing in more money than ever. Incredibly bullish for these markets. Because, again, they're actually talking about doing sovereign wealth funds and putting more money back into stock markets, which arguably would be intense, man. That'd be intense. But breaking for the first time in 20 plus years, the United States has a budget surplus. I voted for this. Yeah, I just got to give it up to you. You're a realist and rational, which is appreciated, dude. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, like it just, people don't like, I could do these tokens to 100x. I'd much rather people understand how to trade. Because this is the thing. Let's talk about this a little bit. I'm going to give you guys a crazy alpha test right here, right? So a lot of people think, type 1 in chat if you think crypto is about making money. Being a trader is about making money. Type 1 in chat if you agree or that you believe that being a crypto trader is about making money, right? A lot of people out there believe the whole focus of being a crypto trader is to make money. The reality is that couldn't be further from the truth. Your job as a crypto trader or a crypto investor is not about making money. That is a very beautiful side effect of the industry, okay? That has nothing to do what your actual job is to do on these charts. If you're somebody that is just buying Bitcoin or buying an altcoin and hoping and praying that it's going to go to a said price so you can make money, you're just gambling at that point, right? You're straight up gambling. The real purpose of crypto, okay, if you actually want to be an investor or a trader, is about being able to predict where the price point is going to go, whether that is up or whether that is down, okay? So one example, Bitcoin bulls that believe Bitcoin is going to go to $500,000. They have 90 different reasons usually on why they believe and support this, and they're going to simply DCA every single week until that price point is hit, and they're going to take profits along the way. It's a much larger time scale, easier strategy to DCA. Traders, okay, day traders, your job is to predict what price what the probability of a price point is going to be for Bitcoin. So for example, today we have our hourly high. Let's just pull this up. I'm going to give you guys a perfect example here, right? So this is how I trade. You have an hourly high of $118,900. All right. I did this in the Discord earlier today too. People learn a lot off it. You have an hourly low of $116,649. This is your trading session. Okay. In this trading session, you have an hourly high of 118,000, hourly low of 116,000. And I'm sure if you line up the 4-hour time frame as well, you're going to be looking at literally the same dots, right? 4-hour time frame, 116. So heavy support, heavy resistance. This is going to be the trading rate. So as a day trader, my job is now to go look at the smaller time frame. I'm going from high time frame now to smaller time frame. I'm going to look at the daily bias, and you're going to do one of two things. Okay, I'm a liquidation trader. So I'm going to look for a sweep of these highs and look to enter a short to grab a scalp, or I'm going to look for a sweep of these lows to grab a reversal to catch a scalp to long for profit. Okay, that is what most people that watch this show that are day trading on a daily basis should be focusing on, right? The problem is most people come into crypto and rather than actually have an asymmetrical strategy, rather than actually patiently wait for a trade to come to you, they end up coming into crypto and they just see a green candlestick, right? They just see a green candlestick and they hit the buy purchase, right? They hit the buy signal. And this works on every single time frame. Doesn't matter if you're a day trader, if you're a swing trader on a weekly time frame, if you're dollar cost averaging on a multi-month time frame, you have to have a strategy, and you always need to understand when you enter a trade, right? When X happens, Y is possible, okay? This is what you need to focus on. 90% of your traders and why people lose money is they come into this market and when X happens, they hope Y is possible, okay? That is a massive key difference here. So a perfect example here today would be if someone's coming into chat and going, Josh, should I buy at this level? Josh, should I buy now? Should I get in at $117,000? Well, if I were going off an actual trader mentality and I zoom out for a second, I look at my indicator. When X happens and Y is possible, when the RSI is overextended, when the MACD is looking to turn over, when the stochastics all the way over here, over purchased or overbought on the 3-hour time frame, what's possible is that you're more than likely going to end up filling this lower time frame or this higher time frame order level, right? You're going to be looking at $116,000. So cognitively, as a trader, if you have that education, you would know you don't want to enter at this range, right? This is what I'm building with FOMO, guys. This is literally what these liquidation charts are. So chat knows this now, and they're starting to use this on a daily basis. What do you do? I'm going to ask chat right now. What do you never do when the price of Bitcoin is between two yellow lines? Okay, you guys see these yellow lines right here? What do you never do when Bitcoin's price is between two yellow lines? Chat's going to know this answer, okay? Chat's going to know this answer. And I'm going to teach you guys a very valuable lesson at the end of this. It's about patience, because to be a good trader, it's all about mind. It's literally about mind. I mean, it's about having a strategy, but keeping a consistent mindset. Nick says, buy in, go all in. No, you guys are trolls, dude. Or maybe you're being real, but you do nothing. Okay? You do nothing. The beauty of a market, guys, is when X happened and Y is possible, when you live through that mentality, you wait for a trade to come to you. You do not ever chase a trade. What yellow lines mean, guys, is right now Bitcoin is in between a range. Okay, that range is $118,900 and roughly $116,400. What are those levels? Those are the exact high time frame key levels we just identified on the chart on the 4-hour and the hourly, right? That means the key range now is going to be this. This is our key range. Now, does it play out like this? We don't know. What we know is that this is the high time frame key levels of your support and your resistance. So what I look to do as a liquidation trader, if I'm trading on the daily time frame, right, I'm going to look for a sweep of either the high time frame lows or the high time frame highs. And that's all I'm going to do as a day trader. If I'm a dollar cost averager, and I'm somebody that's looking at when's the best time to accumulate, maybe once a month, right? Because not everybody's a trader, and that's completely okay. But maybe you're somebody that just buys once a month. What I'm going to simply do is zoom out on the daily time frame, right? And let's remove this for 2 seconds. I'm going to zoom out on the daily time frame, and I'm going to look for key levels of support. So on the daily time frame, very obviously, right? This was a break of structure. We broke this structure, and boom, right? Explosive. It looks like Bitcoin took a Viagra pill. It looks like Bitcoin went into the closest gas station, asked for an aspirin, and the guy behind the counter gave him 4 blue pills and said, hey, here, take these. He took those, okay? Absolutely explosive. Now, the next step, though, is identifying confluence, right? So our indicators are all indicating that right now on the daily, Bitcoin's pretty overextended, right? Can it keep going up in the RSI? Of course. Can it go up to 130K? Of course. But now, if you're looking at a daily time frame, as somebody that's buying once a month on a daily time frame, you want to be buying at when these indicators are oversold. Look at what happens when it's oversold, right? You have a very bullish divergence here. This would be a bullish divergence. You have the stochastic overextended. You have the MACD overturned. This was the time to buy, right? Technically right here, you have the stochastic overextended. MACD looking to reverse. You didn't have a bullish divergence, but you did have a nice spring cannon here that allowed you to, if you looking at the stochastic, looking at the MACD, you would have caught in a very decent entry point, right? So every time you're going to enter the market, this is all I can give you guys is the best possible advice I can give you as a trader over the last 4 years, or Jesus, like 8 years at this point, but full time these last 4, is whenever you're entering the market, you need to be able to identify, and let me go all the way back here. You need to be able to identify when X happens, when X happens, Y is possible. If you're somebody coming into market and saying X just happened, but I don't know what the price can go to or what it can drop to, that is hope in gambling. So take that key knowledge. The moment you flip this, guys, the moment you finally wake up and decide today, I'm going to enter a trade or a position because I know X is happening and Y is possible, and you're making an actual asymmetric strategic trade, you're going to be instantly a much more profitable trader. It's the traders that come in, or the day traders or the investors that come in and say, I have to buy something today. I have FOMO. I need to be in a trade 24/7. Man, I missed yesterday's trade, so I wish we were in a trade right now. I'm going to look on the minute time frame. I'm going to try to catch one of these reversal trends, and you can try to do that, but you're going to be a much less profitable trader because, again, like my asymmetrical strategy is very simple, right? I actually even put it in the Discord here, guys. Come join the Discord if you want the full breakdown. Look at this. I'll put it right here on the chart. I literally step-by-step here, and I'm going to do educational videos on this. It's establish the daily bias. Are you bullish or bearish? Great. On your liquidation heat maps and your sentiment data, which we're using through FOMO, right, are all of our liquidation levels, you're going to identify your high time frame resistance and support levels and the draws to liquidity. What is your draws to liquidity? Very simple. You go to your FOMO tool, you look at the bright yellow lines. The bright yellow lines, that is your draw to liquidity. Price is going to move to one of those ranges, right? As soon as you identify that, okay? Step 2, wait for the key level to hit. This is the hardest part because a lot of traders out there, they want a trade now. They want to buy now, right? When in reality, if they simply just stuck to a strategy and waited for the trade to come to them, they're probably going to be 400% more accurate, right? They might still not be the best trader, but I'm telling you, your likelihood of making more successful trades is going to go up way higher if you put out an equation, you put out a trade, and you wait for the trade to come to you. Step 3 is you look for a low time frame reversal. So once these fill, right, it doesn't matter which direction it is, you're identifying it. If maybe you early in the day identify a bullish bias, but somehow some Trump news or tariff announcement crashes the market and takes you down to the lower time frame, right? You will be able to next on the lower time frame. So that's high time frame. You go to the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute, the 7 minute. I don't give a shit what you necessarily trade on. Once you're on that 5 minute time frame, what are you going to do? You're going to identify through confluence, through fair value gaps, through equilibriums, through liquidity grabs, through order books, through any single Fibonacci's, whatever you guys are using. A lot of you use different tools, right? You're going to identify points of confluence that identify a potential reversal. Okay. Is it 100% going to hit? No, you identify stop losses. So that way, just in case you're wrong, it hits. But if you have 7 indicators telling you, okay, when X happens, Y is possible, you enter that trade, right? That is the proper way to make an asymmetrical trade here. So that is what you do. Step 3, doesn't matter if it's, I put here, bullish, bearish divergences, MACD reversals, signal imbalances. I put, people use internal fair value gaps, whatever you want to use, continuation confirmation. You use all those indicators, whatever I use, I use 5 or 6 of them. Use whatever you want, right? Keep it super simple, super precise. Once they all tell you something's going to happen, you look for a low time frame continuation confirmation on that confirm. So whether something fills, whether you look for a break of structure, a change of character, whatever it is, you enter the trade. Step 4. And actually, that's technically step 5. Step 5 is you enter the trade. And that's it. That's it. I know that might be a lot of words, but I mean, I explained that in what, 7 minutes, right? So in 7 minutes, that is the difference between a real trader and a gambler, or a real investor and an investor that has no idea what the fuck they're doing. Okay. And it's a common symptom of the crypto market. And I get it, because I've been there. I still do this. I still FOMO in the markets, right? You see green candlesticks, you got to get in, you got to participate now. But if you can earn that mentality, if you can reduce the it's why we call FOMO'd. You FOMO'd into the market. That's why you're on our platform, is because at one point in your life, you probably FOMO'd into the market at a point where you shouldn't have, and you need to be you're looking for education. You're looking to finally be able to look at a chart and go, when X happens, there's a 70% chance or probability it does Y, right? No longer, this pattern trading stuff. You see a lot of like influencers do this, right? They just do this, right? They'll draw out some lines. They'll put some, nice magical, whatever, origami, I don't know, whatever you want to call this. I don't like pattern traders, because pattern traders, if they're just pattern trading, it's crazy to me. And they're not even using multiple points of confluence. They're just going to look at this chart here. They're going to see Bitcoin break out of this, and they're going to enter a trade here. Okay. They're just going to enter a trade and be like, oh my God, I'm going to hope it goes up. Right. When in reality, this could be a triple top, right? Or it could be, you see the breakout here, and your order books turns into a breaker, right? So a breaker, if you guys don't know what, is essentially a level where institutions are just selling, right? And you can't get through that level. Institutions want to sell, they're pushing the price down, and it becomes a breaker, it becomes resistance, okay? So that structure that is broken here on a pattern isn't actually real. It's not a real broken structure. They're just chasing some pattern, right? So all of a sudden what will happen is they're not looking at multiple different areas of confluence. And even though you're breaking out of this, your RSI is overextended, your MACD is overextended, your stochastic overextended, or your liquidity is flashing, or your order books, you're hitting a breaker, right? You're hitting a BB, whatever it is. They don't use all these indicators, so they have no idea what's going to happen. All they know is that, X happened, and now they hope that price is going to move higher. And so I hope I get that into your guys' mindset a little bit more. I know it's kind of confusing when I'm saying, trading isn't about making money. Trading's about predicting a potential probability, which again, you're going, Josh, yeah, that's literally gambling. It's not, though. It's the same thing. Trading's like professional poker players, okay? Professional poker players are not gamblers at all. Professional poker players not only can count cards and count probabilities, but the best poker players can understand if they're sitting at a table of 8 and they're number 4, or they're under something called the barrel, right? Where the dealer is dealing out all the cards, and they're the first to make a decision. They're first to bet on the table, right? That's going to incredibly change their odds and the probability of how they're going to act at the table, because they're the first to speak. It makes them change their entire shift in mentality in that market. Now, I think trading's a lot less riskier than poker, because one, doesn't take nearly as much time, and you have way more indicators, and it's getting way easier, especially with artificial intelligence. But that is your quant. That would be the reference I would make it to. So like, if you were to say someone's a gambler and someone's a poker player, I would ask you, okay, well, what's their consistent win rate at a poker tournament? If you're like, oh, they win their top 300 every single poker tournament, dude, that poker player he is making millions, right? They're the top of their game. They know that when X happens, when certain cards go out to the river and they're at a certain location, there's a Y probability of a certain outcome. They're not going, oh, well, X happened on the table. Let's hope that there's two kings on the table. Let's hope nobody else is holding a king, right? They make an adjusted, risk-adverse decision on how they fold or play that game. So, you know, very, very, very important lesson there. I hope that, you know, maybe brought some educational value to you guys. But it's so important, guys. Get the mentality down. Get the mentality down. I'm going to buy Josh a shirt that says, if X happens, then Y is possible. Hell yes. Hell yes. We were just writing that out on TradingView last night. Your Discord keeps telling me that my email is not confirmed. What am I not doing right? You may be able to message the support channel. I actually have no idea why I'd be notifying you that. You just changed my entire world. Thank you. Let's go, baby. Yeah, speculation on retail adoption given the regulatory back and forth. Okay, so tell me if we should put a long on ETH right now. So very simple, guys. This is why I'm building these tools. It's where all my money goes. Literally the $100,000 I made last year on trading, I literally put all into this. I want to build real products that are simple. It's color coded. You can't it's this. I want to make it where a 5-year-old could understand it, right? Maybe not the complexities, but like, you see this yellow line? If it goes there, you know, don't touch it. But here you go, right? So right now, perfect question. Should it buy an ETH long? You don't want to do anything, right? You don't want to do anything right now. On a lower time frame, we're in a new range. We're right in the middle of the range. It is 50-50 that you're going to go up to either 118 or down to 116. So what I would be doing right now, if I want to be a good trader, right? Sometimes I'm the dumbass and everybody wants me to do the $1,000 to $10,000 challenge quickly, and I try making riskier trades. I go into the 24-hour time frame now. There's a lot of support at 116.5. So if the price came down to 116.5, chat, I would then be looking to open longs. Okay. And again, it's not like as simple as, okay, it hit this yellow line, it's going to bounce. Once it hits that yellow line, you got to go to the smaller time frame. You got to look at, all of your different confluences, make sure that there's, whether there's a break of structure or you're looking at fair value gap, whatever you're using to trade, make sure there's multiple points of confluence to tell you to enter. And then you still need to look at your stop losses. How do you find stop losses? Here you go. I'm going to zoom in right here. This is perfect. Bitcoin liquidation maps, right? So the upper band, if I were to put this on a band or on a, watch this. Let me go to the other, the beta version still, because I can draw on this one still. I'm going to show you guys something so super. I call this method, by the way, the windshield wiper method. It is the windshield wiper method. And it makes so much sense. You guys are going to, if you've never heard of this yet, I'm going to blow your mind. You see this dotted red line? Okay. This dotted red line is your windshield wiper. When too much rain gets on your windshield, the windshield wipes out the rain, right? Then too much rain gets on the windshield, it wipes out the rain. So this windshield wiper is going to go back and forth nonstop, wiping out positions, keeping the windshield clean. Okay. Super simple. So how do you identify which way the windshield wiper is going to go? Well, right now it's really hard to, because we are in between two massive ranges. So this means that the windshield wiper already started moving one direction to the other side of the windshield. You're just so happy to look at the windshield right now when it's already in the middle, okay? Which means you need to let it, like, imagine like a windshield wiper is going back and forth. You open up TradingView and it just goes, right? And it's frozen in time, okay? That's where the windshield wiper is. You don't know if it's going this way or if you don't know it's going to this way. That's what you use the confluence and all those trading indicators for. But what you use this for right now is how much rain's on the windshield, right? So you can identify which side of the windshield is it more than likely going to head because of how much rain's on it. So I'm going to show you something. This is so simple. This is how you identify key ranges. Look at this. $116,000 right here. You can see the massive liquidity levels, right? The massive order books. You can see $116,600 is what if the windshield wiper came here, it would wipe out already the majority of orders to the downside. If Bitcoin were to come up to 118,900 right here, it would wipe out the majority of liquidations to the upside. Okay. So right now you're 50-50. What are these key levels that we're stuck in right now that looks like kind of a football, post? Well, let's go to the chart. That is right here. $118,800 and $116,600. So that windshield wiper, right, is just this on its side. It's vertical instead of horizontal. That is what you're looking at. That's how you identify that range. Super simple. So the moment how you use this, okay, if the windshield wiper comes all the way up here, let's say it wipes out all these positions, What's going to happen on FOMO here is the red side is going to go way higher and the green side is going to go way lower. And this is where you start to get your confirmation that you look for targeted entry points. Why? Because when the red side is higher than the green side, the windshield wiper is more than likely going to go to the left, which means you would be more than likely looking to open up a short. Okay? If the windshield wiper goes to the left and wipes out most these short positions, all of a sudden, the green side is going to be way higher than the red side. And now you're going to be looking for targeted longs. Okay? That is how you trade the windshield wiper method. So every time, if you're in the middle, right? We're in the middle. You're not entering a trade right now. It's ridiculous if you're entering a trade right now, unless you have a different way to trade than I do. This is not, which is completely okay as well. I trade differently. I'm going to now wait for 2 key levels. So I will have a first targeted entry point at this range, right? I'll have a stop loss somewhere right here, because what I'm betting on is that we're going to bounce off this and then move higher, or this gets stopped out, which is completely okay. Stop loss is your best friend. You look for that second targeted entry point on the next support region, right? That next order block level. And then you look for that reversal back to the upside, okay? And we just trade back and forth. That is all we do. That is why we call it the windshield wiper method. That is it. And if you guys want to know why the windshield does this, it's super simple. Exchanges make the most amount of money. Market makers make the most amount of money off liquidations and transaction costs. So they're going to stop you out of as many positions as possible, and they're going to try to get you to take profit as many times as possible. That sounds crazy, but every time you take profit, they get a fee. So they want you to win. Only a set amount. It's just like the casino. The casino wants you to win. Why? If you win at the casino and you hit big early on, you're probably going to spend a lot more money after they get a few drinks in you for free at the casino. Same thing with an exchange, right? So if you're cognitively aware of that, you want to take advantage of the swings to where the most amount of transactions are going to be. That makes the casino or the exchange or the market maker all of the money. You never ever want to think that you're the smartest. You're not the smartest trader. No one's the smartest trader. You know how stupid we are? We're literally retarded. If you were to put a scale out of retardation to institution, we are at the bottom of it. These institutions, chat, are using quants you have never, ever even identified, that I don't even know that exists. Their AI systems are so advanced and complex based on decades of models at real time, at quant speed. You're just not competing. You're not competing. So take advantage of the scalps, right? That's what we're doing here. And again, you can do this on many different time frames, right? This is the 1 day. Do it on the 7 day, right? Maybe you're not a day trader. Completely okay. Pull out the 7 day chart. Look for the liquidation. Look for the windshield. Let's make sure this loads here, but goes back the other direction. Because I guarantee you, while this loads here, if it goes back to the other direction, right? Let's go back to the daily time frame. And you're at the daily time frame here, and you're looking like, okay, I just got my paycheck. It's my bi-weekly dollar cost average entry point. Let's say you're at the upper end of the scale, right? I don't know why this one's not loading. Let me pull this chart up. There we go. 7 day. There we go. There you go. Yeah, look at the 7 day chat here. So I'm going to let chat identify this. If I am now entering the market, what would be the ideal trading setup that I'm looking for? What am I looking to do here? Am I looking to short or I'm looking to long? What do you guys believe is going to happen here? What am I going to do right here? Josh, I need a 2 day training session. Let's go, baby. You guys are more than welcome to come up here, man. All right, it's always open up here, brother. Right. Not right. Not right at all. It's definitely not right at all. You're going to want to short. Okay, why are you going to want to short? When the red side's higher than the green side, you want to short. Okay? When the green side's higher than the red side, you want to long. Okay? So what I'd be looking for here is, I'm not entering a position here because we know on the daily we're stuck between 2 ranges. But what I am going to identify is if Bitcoin spikes to $119,000, guys, there is not a lot of liquidity above this. There is not. There is liquidity, and it's not impossible to get a short squeeze. Again, that's why you have a stop loss. It's not impossible. All we are identifying is that if X happens, Y is possible, right? Back to that. So if X happens, we go up to $119,000. It is very highly possible that the windshield starts going the other direction to eat some of this liquidity. Will it go all the way down to 110K? I don't know, but that's your long day time frame. Again, you're using longer time frames, longer sessions. So use your MACDs, use your RSIs, use your Fibonacci's. Use all of those data points to identify those confluences to trade. And there you go. Short. Let's go, baby. You guys got it. How do you join my trades? I trade in the Discord pretty much every single day. I'm not a full-time trader, though, because I'm building multiple companies. So I'm going to miss trades all the time. But if you want to follow mine, like yesterday, we made like literally $6,000. It was absolutely insane. Crazy streams using this session, literally all live with you guys. Everybody can vouch for that. I did it on stream. Stop saying right. Right? Did I say it so much, right? You gotta have to drink every time I say right. There you go. Aren't you right? Am I right? I don't know. Either way, I also say dude a lot. That's just me from being in California, right? My colleague just scrolls over. Yeah, so if you guys want to join the Discord, it's free to join, guys. You just got to sign up with one of our exchange links, our referral codes, and you can go follow me in the Joshua J chat. I post all my trades in here that we make in the $1,000 to $10,000 challenge. And then I was in live here every day. I'm literally in here live almost every single day in the live trading room, in the trading chat, and everybody can vouch for that. You'll see it all in here. So make sure you guys go join that. The link's in the bio. I think the links. Did I put a description on this live stream? I may not have done that. I think I might have just actually messed up. I might have to do that. So go to our previous live stream. I may have totally spaced out on the live stream. Hold up. Yeah, I'll have to edit it right after this. Bomo keeps telling you my email's not confirmed. Did you try another email, B-Wise? I don't know why it would do that. Yeah. Well, guys, that's what I got for you tonight. If you guys have any questions, come join the Discord, okay? If you guys want to use this website here, this is what I use to trade. You can look at it up, FOMO.io. But come get in the Discord, guys. That's where we post all our trades. And we're going to be doing all the trading and everything. Everything is done there. And if you guys want to learn more, I'm going to be doing educational content for the Discord. I'll be doing videos. So if you want to learn and use those videos, I'll probably post them on YouTube. But we'll probably have to put them on just like some sidebar YouTube or private. I don't know how we're going to do that yet because they're very technical. So I want to keep it for kind of just a Discord and the traders there. But we'll put that out. Maybe I'll do a boot camp or something. And we'll go from there. So FOMO's telling me the same. It's telling you the same. What the heck? So when you guys sign up, right? When you sign up with your Google email, it doesn't let you sign in with your Google email. Let me screenshot this right now. My friend just texted me. I know. Cut their legs off. Crazy. He goes, the Epstein, FBI, and DOJ stuff ain't great, to be honest. Bring back public executions for everyone involved in this. I agree. You're the best, Josh. How do I join? Discord's free, guys. Link's in the bio. I'm going to add it to it right after I hop out this live, but you can just go to the previous live stream and get it there. And I need to add it into my X Pro. I think it might be in the X profile. Got to say as well. And again, there's a $99 version of Discord for people that have a lot of money that are looking to get access to our $1 million yield portfolio and all of our portfolio updates. You can actually see what I have in my portfolio. But again, the trading part of the Discord is completely free. You just got to sign up with one of our exchange links. And again, that will be in, and maybe a mod has it. Actually, DeFi airdrops, dude. Shout out to Veteran right here. Two things, guys. This link right here is the Discord. Click this link. It will let you go to the Discord. Also follow DeFi Crypto airdrops. Veteran Crypto does amazing educational content in the Discord as well. For people that don't like trading, you'd rather just learn how to earn money off yield. So you're more passive income, dollar cost average, low risk. That is going to be the content for you on DeFi Crypto airdrops right there. So make sure you guys check that out. Yeah, and then this one is just FOMO, guys. Is one of the exchanges BitUnex? No, it's going to be Blowfin and LBank. Potentially soon CoinW. We're trying to work it out with them as well. But those are going to be the three. We're going to try to get just most exchanges on, but we want to limit the exchanges because we want only so many partners. We don't want to have 10 different exchange links. We want to do just 10 to consolidate and give our exchange partners actually value. So like we're doing a lot of volume with them. They're happy. They're all excited. Everything's progressing. It's growing. But we're going to probably do our 3 favorite exchanges there. But I'll let you know. We'll try to get more as we go. As long as the Discord keeps growing and volume's producing, I want any exchange to be able to sign up and get access to it eventually. But right now we just have LBank or Blowfin. You got to sign up for one of the 2 there to start using it. And Blowfin's great. I love Blowfin as well. So is LBank. LBank's, they're both great platforms. Is one of the exchanges, I just read that twice. Appreciate you, brother. Can you use LBank in America? I believe you can. It's non-KYC, I believe. What do you think is better for the bull run, Sui or Ondo? Ondo, I think, has got more upside, but Sui is a fantastic project, but they do 2 completely different things. Sui is going to be more focused on memification, meme coins, that type of crowd, community-based applications. Ondo is very institutional tokenization, U.S. Treasuries. So 2 completely separate markets there, guys. But that's what I got for you guys. Hit that like button and repost, share the stream, do whatever you guys can. Go check out FOMO, go join the Discord, get in there, trade with us, have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'll probably see you guys in a Discord. That's gonna be the real. That's gonna be how it is, guys. Check out this.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.